my screen yet? Can everyone see my screen, or I need to reshare? Tati can see it. Yeah, I can see it. Karabo, are you sorted?
Yebo.
All right, good. So guys,
All
this
clear.
assignment, pardon?
I was saying I can see the screen, sir.
Okay, thank you. So you are going to be submitting this assignment when it's called. It's due on the first week of June, as you can see on the screen.
2 days before my birthday.
Yeah, so you are going to be under pressure since you guys like putting yourself unnecessary pressure. All right, it's going to be 2 days before Kia's birthday, and it is another individual assignment, just like with F1. And remember, guys, it covers chapters 1 to 5, and yes, it does contribute to your final mark. So you'll be expected to show that you understand the following: developing new markets, market penetration, business models. So actually everything that you have done in F1, you are also going to come across them in F2. That's why I want you guys to work on the things that you feel like you didn't do your best. You need to provide both theory and be able to apply. And this one is quite huge. The previous one was ROF 110. This one is going to be ROF 150. There's one thing that I forgot to mention, guys, about the number of pages. You'd realize even on the brief for F1, it said not a maximum of 10 pages. Let's look at this one. I just want to quickly check something because most of you guys talk too much. So there's something that I need to check. Can you see on number 2? Can you see that, guys? The assessment must not exceed 10 pages, including the cover, reference, and appendices. Anything over 10 pages will not be marked. I've been lenient on F1, guys, but you can't repeat this over and over again. Someone was saying something. Was it clear?
Sir, I was agreeing when you asked
us
if you see number 2.
All right. So you realize that many of you guys, especially ladies, please guys, I'm not being gender provocative here. But I've realized that especially ladies, you are talking too much in the assignment, Talk. About what is market penetration, you put 5 pages on that. Try to over-explain something, guys. Try to go straight to the point. Yes, Tati.
So does the 10 pages include the index or not? And do we have to put an index page?
You know, guys, put a cover page. Put a cover page because it needs to say something about you and your identity. Then go straight to the assignment. These table of contents that you are putting, guys, the indexes, you know, you put indexes when you have used the tables and other figures in the assignment. Excuse me, guys. So most of these assignments do not require the figures, like figure 1.1. Those are the things that you need for an index page. So there's actually no need to put a contents page where you've got question 1, page 2, question 3, page 4. There's no need for that. Put a cover page that has got all your details on, your name, your surname, your student number, your contact details, name of the lecturer, campus. You sign, you declare that this is your work, you put on a signature, then you go straight into your assignment. And while it's on the assignment, make sure that you go straight to the point. Blessed, don't talk too much. You are not yet a pastor's wife, you know? So there's no need to talk too much. One question has to end up being half a page. Pardon, Blessed?
Noted, sir.
Okay. Kia Manaiwa. Oh, both Kias, your hands are up. Let's start with the first one, Manayo.
I just wanted to ask 10 pages, including or excluding the reference list.
It's there, Kia. Let me go back in case I've left it, because I want all of us to be clear. I'm also following the instructions that are there. Number 2, remember guys, I downloaded this from Core Campus, so you can also get it there. The assessment must not exceed 10 pages, excluding the cover, reference, and appendix. So it means that from question 1 of your assignment to the last question of your assignment, it must not be more than 10 pages. Manayo, are you answered? So it excludes the cover page, the reference, and appendices. But as I'm telling you guys, if there's a need for an appendix, especially when you're going to do your S1, you can include it. But with this assignment, I don't see any need to have an appendix. Yatlekile? Sorted.
Sorted, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. You are very quiet in this class, but on the assignment, the paragraphs that you are giving me. Yes, the second key.
No, so I just wanted to highlight the fact that if the brief says we need to have an index, then there's high chances that we're going to have an index on the assignment.
Okay. All right. On that one, guys, it's optional. Whether you've got an index or you don't have it, you are not going to be penalized.
Yeah, because we are scared of losing marks. So we
Yeah,
follow
and
everything the
I'm
brief
scared
says.
of giving marks. Okay. I get you. All right. Any other questions, guys? Okay. So, you know, the textbook that we use, it has got 2 authors on it, even when we have a look at the front cover. The textbook has got 2 authors. The other one is Chaffee. The second author is Ellis Chadwick. Those are the 2 authors for the textbook. I don't understand why you guys keep saying Chaffee, then it ends there. Do you get what I mean? The reference is there, guys. All right, so this assessment is also going to be case study based. So it's going to be based on an article about entrepreneurship. This one is going to be quite tricky. So you guys need to be prepared in advance. Don't wait for June because it's going to be quite tricky. It's completely different to Spire to You. It's about entrepreneurship. So I'm going to read through the passage, but I encourage you guys to read this over and over again as you go through the assignment question. Intelligent South African entrepreneurs. Lessons from the brains behind Yapchev, June last year. It's a household name in South Africa for a good reason. It's a brand that stood the test of time, and its humble beginnings make for one for the best kinds of stories. A tale that warms both the heart and ignites an entrepreneurial spark in people. Today, Yapchev has 8 stores around the country, as well as an online store that's the second to none and 15 years after it all began. Yapchev was bought out by Mr. Price for a cool 460 million rands. Where did Yapchev come from? How did it all start? Yapchev is an online retailer of kitchen and homeware products founded in 2006 by Andrew Smith and Shane Dryden in Cape Town, South Africa. 16 years ago, online commerce looked nothing like it does today. Both founders ran a web development agency when introducing Yapchev to the South African market. At first, it was headquartered in Smith's home, and the first deliveries were packed and shipped from his lounge. Yapchev was one of a handful of e-commerce projects the duo were involved in at that time. And in 2010, the brand attracted huge media attention through guerrilla marketing tactics that leveraged a national marketing campaign by retailer Woolworths called Woolies Love Birds. Playing off a typo in Woolworths' campaign material URL allowed Yapchev to register the misspelled URL, where they posted a random note requesting that Woolworths match any donations made by Yapchev customers to a local charity they supported. Woolworths took the ransom demand in good spirit and embraced the opportunity for a feel-good story. Not only did they agree to match any donations up to 7,500 rands, but they also agreed to let Yapchev keep the ransomed web page as long as they added a link to the real Woolies competition. Yapchev challenged other companies to match donations, and they quickly raised more than 100,000 rands for Soil for Life in under 12 days, bagging a lottery award in the process. This started a cult following that would grow for the brand worldwide. But they sell kitchen stuff, right? What's the big deal about Yapchev? It all boils down to the handwritten card. Considered a pioneer in South African e-commerce, Yapchev was awarded the accolade of the best e-commerce store in South Africa from 2010 to 2015. And 12 years after the South African online store, Yapchev took its first order. The brand opened its first brick and mortar store in Cape Town and Johannesburg. In 2021, Mr. Price acquired the Yapchev brand for 460 million, after which the founders resigned 9 months later. While there was no official comment from the founders as to the reasoning behind their resignation, Mr. Price noted that the pair had realized that the years of building the brand and getting the business to the place of sale have taken their toll, and that Smith and Dryden also realized that their passion and skills were in starting up a business, and not second phase, growing and scaling it. So, what entrepreneurial pearls of wisdom can we glean from the Yappy Chef story? And where do the handwritten cards fit into the picture? Nowadays, getting a handwritten thank you card with your delivery from South African online stores is regular. It's probably a global norm by now, but it wasn't always this way. In 2015, Director Paul Galatis said Yappy Chef captured customers' hearts and loyalty based on their commitment to generosity creates trust. Speaking at the e-commerce Africa conference that year, Galatis shares some insider stories on Yappy Chef strategies that helped them perfect their craft in creating memorable customer service experiences online. Here are a few important lessons that Yappy Chef has taught other South African entrepreneurs, digital marketers, and online stores. South Africans want to deal with real people, not faceless brands. The most successful e-commerce sites with the most loyal customers are ones that show customers they are dealing with real people. Chatbots are great for efficient, but customers want to know someone cares about them and their order. To show their humanity, there are no scripted responses to customer service queries at Yappy Chef. Responses use everyday language and humor where appropriate to show customers they are dealing with real people on the other side of their email or Facebook post. It takes time to create trust, which is built on sacrifice. With generosity comes a gift. One sacrifice made by the Yappy Chef team for their customer is giving up their time to handwrite personalized cards for every customer ordering through their online store. This ritual started in 2006 when the founders wanted to express their appreciation to customers for orders during their first difficult year. It was a gesture that did not go unnoticed, and customers were soon writing back, expressing delight at their personalized thank you card. 15 years later, these handwritten thank you notes are integral to the company's operations and core values. Today, every new employee who joins the company goes through an onboarding process where they spend time writing cards. From upper management to box packers, everyone has penned many thank you notes in their time. Customers appreciate this small time sacrifice and the generosity behind the gestures, and it is becoming increasingly important in a socially distanced world where communication is becoming less personal. Work opportunities for customers delighting into the budgets. Instead of spending 35,000 rands on a full-page advert in a South African food and lifestyle magazine, Yappy Chef gave the money to the customer service team for a monthly customer delight budget. This translated to a budget of around 350 rands for roughly 100 customers to be spent on activities centered purely on creating moments of customer delight. The customer service team decides how this budget is spent and whether it's simply fast-tracking delivery, sending a customer something special on their birthday or wedding, or a surprise gift for returning customers. Each moment of unexpected joy has successfully created a lasting positive impression, contributed to building an enduring customer journey. So this was assessed from my Bront bet on 1 February this year. How is that story, guys? The passage that I've just read.
It's very long.
I hope you guys were not sleeping when I was reading. Then all of a sudden, once I'm done, then you just wake up from nowhere. Because whether you like it or not, you are going to read through this passage in order to answer the questions. Okay. Who knows Yappy Chef? Was I pronouncing it well? Guys, is it your first time to hear that brand?
I get emails from them, I think, every week. So not my first time hearing about them.
Who is speaking? I didn't hear. Was it Lesed or Ntati?
Ntati.
Yeah, I know Ntati, you like things. We don't miss out that one. Lesed, you're saying something.
I was saying it's my first time hearing that word, sir.
Pardon?
I was saying it's my first time hearing that word.
Okay. Men, amadoda. Lebo and Karabo.
It's my first time hearing this.
Do you guys have kitchens?
No, see.
I thought as much. Because they
Our
said,
parents have
pardon?
our parents have kitchens, not us.
Okay. So, Karabo, you have never thought about buying something to put in the kitchen, such as a microwave or a plate. You only want to use those.
No, sir. Once I get my own, yeah.
Okay. Lesedi, as a one only daughter, do you manage the kitchen at home?
Not entirely.
Guys, what do you manage? Do you even manage your bedrooms?
The reason why I say not entirely is because not entirely. Sometimes I'm in the kitchen, sometimes I'm not. But I do also buy stuff that is in the kitchen.
Okay. Anyway, Karabo is optimistic. He knows that one day he's going to have his own kitchen. So I don't know what he means by having his own kitchen, because once he gets a wife, they're going to co-own that kitchen.
No wife for me, thank you.
Oh, Karabo, there are ladies in this class, by the way.
They'll get husbands. I've been saying that.
Ladies, Karabo has just made an official declaration that he doesn't want you. Anyway, let's move on. So you have recently been employed as the new digital marketing strategist for Yappy Chef. The head of digital marketing has briefed you that online sales in South Africa continue to grow exponentially. The head of digital shared that Yappy Chef wants to take advantage of the continual increase in online sales and task you to prepare a digital marketing strategy for Yappy Chef to help them capitalize on the constant increase in sales. Using the case study provided plus any other research and information you might deem necessary, answer the following. So guys, you realize that in the next lessons to come, the one that we are actually going to start, we are going to be focusing on the actual strategy. So we are going to be working on digital strategy. So the first question, guys, is a micro analysis. So it means that we are going to focus on the company again and its competitors. The same boring question that you came across about SPAR to you, its facts and so on, you're also going to have it here. So provide 3 facts about Yappy Chef, its products or services. This one is not tricky like the previous one because it does not have an app. So you are going to focus on Yappy Chef. So you need to provide 3 facts. Ignore this. Here it's 3. You need to provide 3 facts to influence the digital marketing strategy. investigate what the product or service is about, how are they selling it, how are they communicating the offering. This question was tricky for many, and I also learned that even today, when you guys were saying that it was not clear. But there are also people who mastered this question, like many could get even 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10, because they were able to answer all the components of that question. You need to make sure that one or the other, you answer all the components of the question. Whether you've got 3 bullets or you've got 5 bullets, as long as you are answering everything that is required you to answer there, then it's easy. I gave you guys an example in the WhatsApp group on how you can answer this. If you struggle again, please let me know. Then most people say they are struggling to get the facts. They are struggling to get more sources about the product. It's very, very simple, guys. Already, right now, you have one source. I did not know about YuppieChef, but I now know YuppieChef because of this source, My Brown Bed by, I don't know how to pronounce that, Labushanjli, I don't know how they pronounce it. That's your first source there, guys. There's a lot of things that was said about YuppieChef on this. When it was started, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I can't spoon feed you on everything. There was most of the stuff that was said about Spartu in that source that you're given there, but no one referenced it. So this source from My Brown Bed already, it says a lot about YuppieChef, where it was established, when was the first order, how they do their blah, 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 gifting cards. Those are the facts that are being given there. But you cannot rely on that throughout your assignment. Go and find out from other sources. What is it that they are saying about YuppieChef? Yes, Kiyama Ngane?
Sir, I'm asking in terms of the first question. The second bullet where they say the so what. I also had a problem on the F1 about that so what question. What can you please elaborate on what they mean?
Okay, the so what. When someone approaches
Yes,
you, when someone approaches you and say ngiyakufuna, right?
Yes, sir.
Your first response will be ufuna ukungisa kuphi? Like, where do you want to take me to?
Yes, sir.
Right? Yeah, I'm just trying to make this as clear as possible.
Okay.
So it's not enough for someone to say I want you if they do not justify why they want you. So they need to give you an impression of the so what. You know, why do you want me? So everything that you are going to explain there in terms of Yappy, you need to bring it back to digital marketing. What is the significance of this in digital marketing? If a fact says that they are the first e-commerce site to be launched in South Africa, so what? What are we going to benefit from that fact? What is the significance of that fact to digital marketing?
Okay.
Am I creating more confusion?
Kind of. So I need to like
Tell me in your language.
Elaborate with the theory.
Here you'll be concluding here. That's why that question is at the last. So once you have said the facts, how they are communicating their offering, and yes, what they are selling. So what is the implications to digital marketing? And I saw that most of you guys did well on that one.
I feel like I winged it, but I didn't fully understand it.
Yeah, sometimes your guessing would actually expose your ancestors that you know what you are doing, even when you actually don't know what you are doing. So those will be sort of close remarks, you know. You'll be concluding, like summarizing everything that we've mentioned, that this is how it draws back to their digital marketing strategy.
Oh, okay.
So if you
I
are
get
telling
it.
me that they send handwritten gestures, how does that, what is the so what of it in digital marketing? How does it contribute to digital marketing?
Okay, all clear, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any questions? I know I'm going to get more questions on the 27th of May and 1 June. So I don't have to worry about that one. I know you guys. So you can actually start this assignment now because you've done this. All right. Second question is tricky because you did not do it in F1. Review the effectiveness of YAPICHF content on social media platforms. What are social media platforms? We are talking about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all social media platforms that are there. Those that have been put in bracket, guys, is just trying to show you that these are some of the social media platforms. They are not the only ones. So review the effectiveness of YAPICHF content on social media platforms compared to its competition. And they gave you guys the competitors. So the first competitor is Bank Kitchen Shop and Instapot. So those are their competitors. And when you are reviewing the effectiveness of YAPICHF content, be it on WhatsApp, you need to review using the KPIs, the key performance indices, such as the retweets, the hashtags, the shares, the number of views, the followers, the comments, and so on. So in bullet point 4, you need to research the effectiveness of YAPICHF's content on social media platform using any 5. So it has to be 5 KPIs. Indicate YAPICHF's performance compared to the competitor and indicate your opinion on their performance in comparison to the competitors. So what you are going to do, guys, listen to me very carefully. What you are going to do here, firstly, you need to come up with a table. A table that is going to have 4 rows and 6 columns. 4 rows and 6 columns. On the top row, you are going to have name of the company. Then first column, you put the social media platform that you have in mind, and then you put all 5 of them. You list the KPIs that you want to choose. So whether you are choosing the retweets, whether you are choosing, remember it says any 5 of these, whether you are choosing the comments or whether you are choosing the number of followers. Then once you have put all the figures, you are then going to have a review of YAPICHF's effectiveness on social media. The same way you do reviews on products. So here you'll be telling me what works and what doesn't work, you know. After you have done that, you can then have your own recommendation that this is what YAPICHF needs to do in order to achieve XYZ. Am I making any sense, guys, or am I confusing you?
it's a lot to take in, but
Okay,
think
I'm
we'll have
giving you an example. I know that's why I'm trying to be as clear as possible. So I said you're going to insert a table here with 6 columns. That's 6 and 4 rows. That's 4, something like this. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here we say brand. Let me use capital letters. We say brand. Here, remember, guys, it will depend with what you have chosen. I'm just giving an example here. Can't remember what they said. Was it Bank's Kitchen or Bank's Pot? I can't remember. Okay, so here, guys, don't think you are good liars because I'm going to go through their pages. So, for example, on their YouTube, let's say they've got 15,000 subscribers. Then here, let's say they've got 21,000 subscribers. Here, let's say they've got 7,500 subscribers. Here, they've got 2 million followers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then here they've got 950,000 followers. Here they've got 3 million followers. Here they've got a WhatsApp group with 5,000 members. Here they've got a WhatsApp group with only 150 people. Here they've got 500 people. On Twitter, they've got 3 million followers. Bank's Kitchen, you've got 450,000. Then here they've got only 1,000 followers. So for argument's sake, let's say here they've got 5,700 because it's still new to them, and 350. Can you see my screen, guys?
Sir, I was having a network problem. Now I can't see your screen.
Okay, others, can you see my screen? Why is everyone running away from this class and coming back? What's happening, guys? Are you now load shedding?
I can see your screen, sir.
So I'm going to have load shedding at 4.
Okay, so this is how you are going to do it, guys. Remember, these figures are your KPIs. And if you are going to use a number of followers, it means that you are going to get a number of followers for everything, including the competitors. If you are going to use retweets, it's going to be the same thing. If you are going to use shares, it's going to be the same thing. So there's no way you can compare apples and oranges. Remember, here you are reviewing the effectiveness of YappyChef's content. So you can only review their effectiveness against the same KPIs of their competitors. So if you are basing that on followers and subscribers, use the same figures. If you are basing on specific posts and the number of views that those posts generated, you need to do the same thing for the competitors. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, what if like the brand doesn't have a certain social media platform, and then the other one has it? So,
Okay, that was my mistake. I get what you mean. So here, let's say they're not on Twitter. Instaport, you just leave a dash like that, or just leave it blank. Because in most cases, guys, all companies does not have the same presence on social media platforms. Have you been answered, Lebo?
Yes, sir.
All right. So for Lebo's argument, on Twitter, Instaport does not have any Twitter account, or it doesn't have any followers. So once you have done this table, you need to specify here KPIs as of 18 April 2023. Why are you specifying? Because this number can increase and this number can decrease. To an extent that when I'm marking your work, I can go back to Yapi Chief and realize that instead of the 15,000 that you had, now their subscription has gone by 1,000 and so forth. So you need to indicate when you got these figures. And I can see across students who is lying and who is not. Once you've done that, then you then come up with a good description of the table. According to the table above, or according to the above KPIs, Yapi Chief is doing well on Twitter than its competitors. Remember, you are reviewing, guys. Competitors. This may be due to XYZ. This may be due to, you put your reasons. However, Instaport has more followers on Twitter than Yapi Chief. Then you explain what Yapi Chief needs to do in order to beat InstaChef.
None of this needs in-text referencing, right? Because I'm guessing, or I'm assuming all these figures will reference at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Can I leave this page?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
You said however,
Oh.
Instaport has more followers on Twitter than Yapi Chief, and then you suggest what Yapi Chief can do.
Yes, remember you need, let me go to the question. Let me make sure that I'm answering the question correctly. How do I leave this window? Because whatever I do, I need to do with you guys. is this one. Yes. Question, who was asking me this question? It says, compared to competitors and indicate your opinion. On their performance in comparison to the competitors. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
So here, I think Karab also asked about it. Here it's only your opinion. You don't need to reference this. It's your opinion based on these KPIs. So it's your opinion based on this. It's your opinion based on this and your knowledge of social media platforms. Yes, Mtati?
So is it necessary for us to reference the YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, or Twitter?
No, you just tell me, you see at that bottom, you just tell me KPIs as of 18 April, what. On the date you are going to assess them, because if someone assesses them today, the other one assesses them tomorrow, they are not going to be the same. Either some have unfollowed or they are new followers. So you just need to tell me when you assessed those KPIs.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, any questions, guys? I assume everything is Jojo. I know that once we have discussed this, you guys are going to come back to hunt me on the 3rd of June. Yes, Ntati?
Sorry, sir, that was from last time.
Okay. All right, let's move on. So I had to explain this question in detail because you did not do it in F1. So that's your 10 marks there, guys. Then we move to question 1.3. This one is more the same with question 1.1. Assess the company's two main competitors, Blank's Kitchen Shop and Instapot. So you just need to make sure, guys, that you answer those questions that are under me. You need to research about the two competitors. So you need to go and find out about Blank's Kitchen and Instapot the same way you would have researched about YappyChief. Remember, we now have the facts that YappyChief was created in Cape Town. We now have the facts that YappyChief has got handwritten. We got it from an article. So now we need to go and find out about Blank's Kitchen, where it created and stuff like that. You know, then you need to say how they are selling the product, what is their main message. So this will be after the 3 facts that you have provided. It's not per competitor. Or it's per competitor. So 3 for, I thought they were saying that 3 facts per point. So 3 for kitchen bank, for bank kitchen shop, and 3 for Instapot. So you start with the facts, guys. You start with this. With the facts at the top. Once you have mentioned these facts, you then answer the questions of how they are selling it, the products that and the brand. Remember, guys, you don't only sell the product, you also sell the brand. Even though the price of a brand is priceless. Do you know, guys, that Apple is selling their brand? Marketing is all about selling the brand through promotion. So then what you're going to reference here is those facts. You need to reference the facts. If there's elsewhere that you are getting the points about how they are communicating the product, you can also reference it. But my focus is going to be on the facts. Yes, Ntat?
So when they say, how are they selling the product? Do they mean which platforms are they using, or like what does that mean?
People would ask you, for example, I run a spaza shop on the street corner. You are the one who is telling me that you run a spaza shop on the street corner. Then I'm going to ask you, how are you selling this spaza shop? Like, how are you exposing it to the market? Then you tell me the ways that you're exposing this to the market. They always make announcements at church about my spaza shop so that people can know it. Or I always take the food and go to markets on weekends. That's why I said, so there are so many ways of killing a cat in that. It's not only about the platforms. It can also be about the owned media. Remember those different types of media that you have mentioned. You can also use them as long as your point is valid and is backed up by sources. Yes, Kia?
So I think the easiest way of answering this question is by using the 4 Ps. Like, already you have your product. How are you selling it in terms of the place, in terms of the promotion, in terms of the price, etc.
That can also work. It just depends with the way you are answering the question, because in most cases, students normally give you the good answer but not answering the question. I don't know if I'm getting, like, you'd give me good facts about the 4 Ps, but as long as those 4 Ps are not fitting in with the question, then it means you are wrong. Remember, here you've got more room, is 20 marks. The previous one was 15 marks. So you've got more to say, but yes, Kia, you can use the 4 Ps. You can even use the Enso's grid. There are so many things that you can use here, but what I'm going to be concentrating on is how you are applying it to this question.
Noted.
Any questions, guys? Are we good? We move on to question 1.4. Using the framework for understanding customer experience. Remember, I spoke about digital customer experience, guys. Research, hey, guys, you're going to be doing a lot of research here. Research what YapiChef customers feel. This is affective, we spoke about that. And think, this is cognitive, I remember talking about this, about their online shop. Make 2 recommendations on how YapiChef can improve customer satisfaction in their online shop. Guys, you have made so many recommendations to your friends in real life. Lo angamjoli lo anakayenzi, kodwa jola nalo. You need to buy this oyster, not that one. These are the recommendations that you make in your daily lives. Now you are being asked to make a recommendation to the YapiChef marketing team, how they can improve customer satisfaction in their online shop. So you need to use any 5. Remember, we have got 8 antecedents. You need to use any 5 antecedents of online customer experience to explain how YappyChef customers feel, think about the YappyChef online shop. Then once you have used those 5, you then make 2 recommendations. Does it make any sense, guys? Do you understand the question?
I do, sir.
Okay, good. If Kia can, then it's a must that everyone must also. All right. I hope Lebo and all of you guys can hear me. I always get worried that maybe people have left me and I'm on my own in this room. So we have got 8 antecedents. Now we move on to question 2, which has got 15 marks. Provide 5 fundamental facts about the business environment that should be considered in the digital marketing strategy in the future. You need to show that you understand the broader environment in which this business operates. In bullet point form, provides 5 key facts followed by the insight or the so what that these facts highlight. What is it that you are doing here, guys? What is question 2 asking us to do? Let's say, are you alive?
I'm here, sir. I'm here, sir.
Okay.
I think we are assessing the market environment.
All right. So we are doing macro analysis. Remember, on the section, on the first section, it says micro analysis. Guys, you need to communicate. It's not like if you open your mic, it's going to finish your battery. Eh? Just saying. All right, here we are going to do pastel analysis. Okay. We are going to be doing pastel analysis, but it is limited. You are not going to apply it all because it's 15 marks. So just pick up 3 environmental factors and have 5 under each. So whether you pick social, political, and economic, then you list 5 factors and give the so what. When they say the so what, if you are telling me about the economic recession or inflation, how is it going to affect YappyChef? That's the so what of it. So they are saying that you are not only giving us skeletons, you also need to give us the flesh. Show us that this can really affect YappyChef. That's the so what. And most of you guys did well on person analysis on F1. You only struggled to describe what that person analysis is. Only a few people managed to do that. I think it's only 2 people actually. You can't just say political, then from Norway, government, this and that. You need to come up with a nice sentence to describe the political factors. Political factors are A, B, C, D. Then you start listing your facts. That's how you need to do it, guys. So briefly describe what a social factor is. Briefly describe what an economic factor is. Briefly describe what a legal factor is, and so on. After I've done that, you then unpack how those legal factors are going to influence YappyChef. Am I making any sense?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, sir,
Yebo Lebo?
so the factors need to be relevant to your picture. So you can't just like choose any.
Yes. That's where the so what fits in. So you can't just say fuel cost under the economy, say fuel cost. It needs, the fuel cost need to be relevant to your PHF.
Okay, and then when you're answering that, it would be like, how is it affecting your picture?
Yes, correct.
Oh, so you don't have to specify how is it relevant to your picture.
Can you come again, Lebo?
You're not like supposed to say that maybe this factor under political is relevant to your picture because of this and this, and then how are they going like to affect your picture?
Yeah, you can put it that way. You can even make recommendation. For example, let's say you are looking about legal factors, compliance with POPI Act, right? So already you've described legal factors as a subheading for me. And now you are talking about POPI Act. You need to come up with a reference for what POPI Act is. So you can say, according to Banda or according to the government gazette, POPI Act is a section that deals with the protection of personal information. The protection of personal information is mandatory for online stores such as YapiChef, as they need to comply with the legislation whenever they deal with customer information such as their name, their email addresses, and their delivery addresses. The marketing team for YapiChef should take note of this act, because if they do not comply with it, there can be legal ramifications. Full stop. You get your marks on that one. Did that make any sense, KD?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So it's not for so is it like for each fact?
Yes, for each fact. Not actually for each fact, but for each player under the fact. Remember, you are only getting 3 environmental factors. So it will be social, political, and economic, right? I'm just giving you an example. So you've got 3 environmental factors here: economic, social, and political. Under political, you need to have 5. Under social, you need to have 5. Under economic, you need to have 5. 5 times 3 equals to 15. Those are your marks. Batula, what is Z? Guys, are we together?
So sir, it's the so what for each fact, or so what for just like summarizing the facts. Like for example,
So what for each fact?
oh, okay.
Let me go back to this. Let me see if I can share it. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So right, we have this as a subheading. 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you are mentioning a definition, guys, you need to get a source for it. Can you see what I'm doing, guys? So,
Yes, sir.
Lebo, we go back to what you're asking, the so what. You'd realize that this is a fact under the economic factors. Then the so what is this that I've written here. You are linking it back to what recession is. The challenge that I'm having with students can give you a good theory, like what recession is, but they don't link it back to YAPI-CHEF. So here, you guys quickly say what recession is all about, but you are not linking it to YAPI-CHEF. So this is the so what of it. And as you can see on my definition for economic factors, I actually highlighted the things that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about recession, commodity prices, unemployment, inflation, and infrastructure. These are 5 facts under the economic factors. So once I have got 5, all 5 are below here, it means that I've got 5 out of 5 under economic factors. You then go to political factors. You do the same thing. There are so many things to talk about under each factor. You know, with political factors, we spoke about the governance of the internet. We spoke about taxation. We spoke about the control of the internet itself. I even gave you guys the example that the government can shut down the internet. So you cannot run out of ideas here. That's what I'm trying to say. You can never run out of ideas, even under legal. We spoke about advertising laws, POPI Act, and IP, you know, intellectual property protection and stuff like that. I saw a hand. Who was it? It's Kia.
Sir, I have load shedding, so I have to leave the class.
Okay, all right. Enjoy your darkness. See you tomorrow or on Thursday. Lebo, did I make any sense?
Yes, sir.
But anyway, I also know that students have got a tendency of doing things the other way around. For example, some would prefer to come up with all the 5 factors of the personal analysis. So under political, you do 1. Under economic, you do 1. Under social, you do 1. It is also fine. Because at the end of the day, you are still talking about the environmental factors. But if you do the same way that I've told you, it is also okay. As long as you have done the environmental factors, guys, and it's clear to calculate them when I'm marking, you are not going to be penalized. The problem is when things are not clear, I can't even see where A, B, C, D, starting from all of a sudden it's X, Y, and here there's U, it becomes clumsy. You realize that most of you guys, I was telling you that here it's a bit clumsy. So don't be restricted on that. Whatever way you think you are going to use, it is fine as long as you are mentioning the environmental factors. But to make it easy, you can do the way that I've showed you. Remember, you need to reference this. Otherwise, you get a 0. So are we good on question 2, guys? All right, then we are going to do the SMART objectives. We might not have done them yet, but I'm sure you did them in your second year, right? Is it your first time to hear this word, SMART objectives? S standing for something, M standing for something, A standing for something, R standing for something, and T standing for something. Is it your first time, guys? I need to know.
No, sir, it's not.
Okay, good. But you are also going to cover it in lessons to come. So based on all the research you have done and the brief, develop 2 overall digital marketing objectives that adhere to the SMART criteria. So you need to come up with 2 objectives. So these are 2 separate objectives, guys. It's not one. For example, you can tell yourself that the specific objective is to gain 15 million viewers on Facebook. That's the first objective. The second objective will be to have a 15% increase of the sales through TikTok. So I've got 2 different objectives. The one is for awareness, is for the reach, because you only want to have a number of followers, even if they buy or they don't, you don't care, but you need that number of followers. Then the second one is revenue based, is based on the transactions that you need. So it will be an increase, a 15% increase of the transactions that are coming through TikTok. On those 2 objectives, you then need to motivate. How specific are they? So why is the 15 million reach specific? That's the first S. How is it going to be measurable? How are you going to measure it? That's your M. How is it going to be achievable? That's your A. How is this relevant to the entire digital marketing objective for Yapi Chief? That's your R. What is the duration for these objectives? That's your T. So team, it's about the time scale. How long is it going to take to achieve this? Am I making any sense, people? Yes, Tati?
So do we write the SMART objectives as a sentence, or do we separate them in terms of S, M, A, R, and T?
However you want it. Some would say specific as a subheading. Then they've got a sentence about the specific. You know, some will have the table, as long as it is clear and Tati showed.
Okay, so
It just have to be clear. Because I don't want to limit your creativity and your thinking capacity, guys, but you just need to make sure that whenever you are writing something, am I putting it out there the same way that I would want to read it, you know? So it has to be very visible and clear. Karab,
Yes.
okay, at least you are there. There are some faces that I don't trust here. Karab would leave his device on while he's busy lifting the weights in the gym. Okay, Karab, I sorted on question 3.1.
Please repeat that.
Are you sorted on question 3.1, the one about smart objectives?
For now, yes, I should be.
Okay. Then provide the KPIs for the set objectives in question 3.1. So define KPI and based on the objectives you have provided in 3.1, provide 4 KPI for each set purpose. So once you have come up with your smart objectives there, you need to tell us how you are going to measure it. That's the KPIs. So, for example, with the sales from TikTok, are you going to measure the transactions or the number of orders or the amount that is reflected in the account? Because those are different things. People leave things on the cart online. What is it exactly that you are going to measure in order to see how your goals are performing?
Excuse me, but
Yes.
wouldn't this be the measurable part of SMART?
Pardon?
I'm saying, wouldn't this be the measurable part of SMART? Am I the
Yes.
only one?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
so
get
if
you,
it's
Kala. I was going to come to that. So we have got M already on SMART, right? Now you are being asked the KPI. So what is it that you are going to use? What are the tools that you are going to use to measure the effectiveness of the entire objective?
so please repeat that.
I just want to write something else in order to show you guys here. Let's go back to our notebook. So I want to take you to that document where we are doing all the notes. This one. So can you see my screen, guys? Especially Kara.
yeah,
Okay. So this is your objective, right? Remember, you're supposed to come up with two objectives. Let's deal with the first one. So to increase sales via TikTok. So how is this specific? Now we are doing the SMART criteria. Specific. Can you see that? Remember on the brief, they say that you need to increase the sales. So that's how this objective is specific. Then measurable, that's where our focus is. Okay, guys, can you see this? That's the objective, and these are the SMART criteria. Sorry about the typos, as I was trying to be as fast as possible. So now the following question talks about how you're going to measure. So here you are measuring the entire objective. Already you know that the brand should be able to calculate the sales coming from the TikTok URL link. So you're going to have special codes, or be it special vouchers, you know, Mr. D and all these other service deliveries, they always come up with voucher codes that they use in order to calculate the effectiveness of something. But here on how measurable it is, you are just giving us, you are just assuring us that this objective should work because it is going to be measurable. You are not telling us how you're going to measure it. You are giving assurance that it is in fact going to be measurable, either through voucher codes or through a competition on TikTok. You ask mothers to post their videos in the kitchen, whatever tool that you are going to use in order for it to look measurable. Then on that second question, it then asks you about the key performance indices. So what you are going to use on your second question after the SMART analysis, you are going to focus on this part and this part, time scale. So the KPIs will tell you the frequency of your measurement for a given time frame. So if you are going to achieve this objective 1 in 4 months, what KPIs do you need in order to make sure that you are going to answer the measurable? So you can then say, remember, you want the 15% of sales in 4 months. Maybe per month you are going to calculate how many sales you have reached, or in 2 months, or every weekend. So those are the KPIs that are going to indicate whether you are on the right track on the measurability or not. Am I talking in tongues, Karabo?
No.
Even with views, okay, let's forget about sales. Remember the first one I spoke about 15 million views, if you remember, guys. 15 million views on Facebook. Even with this one, already we know that you are going to have 15 million views. But how are you going to check on the performance of those views? So it means that every month you can tell yourself that you want to achieve at least, so maybe you can say 15 divided by 4, because you need to achieve this in 4 months. That's your KPI. You go back to your page every 4 months and see how many new signups did you get, or how many retweets did you get from your followers that will lead to more views. If there was a post that went viral, how many new views did it generate? So it gets tricky in marketing, guys. I know many people think marketing is that easy, but it's not. There's a lot of mathematics, there's a lot of reasoning that you need to come up with in order to achieve that objective. So you are going to use a measurable and time frame when answering 3 point, oh, I'm back where I shouldn't be back. When answering 3.2 of the brief. This is not a train smash, guys, because it's only 5 marks. You just need to provide 2 for each set purpose. So for example, under the first objective, which is to get more views, the KPI that you are going to be using is the number of views per month or per week. It is also the number of shares that you get from your post. You have 2. Then on the second one, you can say the KPIs that you are going to use is the number of sales that you get from TikTok. That's the first KPI. And the second KPI is the number of the sign up that you get from the KPI URL link. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys. Tati, I know where you are busy shaking your head, the same way you do in class.
No, sir, you're making perfect sense.
But guys, remember, this is just the inception of F2 brief. I know that we are going to be discussing this over and over again. But to make sure that I also don't confuse myself, please revisit the recording link on YouTube. This link is going to be uploaded on YouTube, as well as on Core Campus. Then, digital strategy, tactics, action, and marketing control. This is what we're going to be focusing on, especially on F3 and S1, and it's going to be lovely. So we're going back to the ends of grid, but here it's quite tricky. Use the market development matrix or the 3 forms of demand expansion for an existing company to identify and recommend strategies you can use as the digital marketing strategies for Yapi to increase online sales. So you need to provide 3 practical recommendations to increase sales for Yapi Chief. We are going to discuss this, guys. We are going to go through the tactics together. I think it's this week or in a few weeks to come. So this one, I'm going to spend much time on this one, as we have not covered it, as we have not yet covered it. Then on 4.2, deciding which market to target is critical when planning a digital marketing strategy. Segment the market for Yapi according to the needs and come up with at least 3 segments. So here, mostly I always encourage students to either look at generations or age segments. So what you need to do, you can come up with Generation Z, Generation Y, and Generation X. That's okay. That's 3 segments, you know. Or you are going to come up with ages 35 to 18 to 35, those are your youths. 36 to 50 something, those are your middle-aged people. Then the senior citizens. Depending on whatever you need to do, you can either look at age segments or generational segments. And you need to come up with the needs for these segments. For example, if it's the youths, you can say that most of the youths are bachelors. At this age, they are not married. You know, they need to revamp their kitchen, so they'll need Yapi. You just need to come up with good facts. That's what I'm trying to say. And you need to reference it, of course. So this is how we're going to provide our segments on 2.1, but we are yet to discuss on it again. Then on question 4.22, based on the segments identified in question 4.21. So the segments that I've identified in the previous question, select a segment you would target and provide 2 reasons. So remember, guys, I gave you generation X, Y, Z. Now you need to choose 1 out of all those 3 that you've mentioned, and you need to motivate why you choose that one. So you can say, oh, mothers, they need to cook, anything, any facts that you come across about that segment, you just need to motivate it for Yapi Chef. Then question 2.3 is the buyer persona for the youths. Whenever you come across 18 to 34 guys, those are the youths. So you need to create a buyer persona and you need to find out about the characteristics of the youths. What is it, the youths that they do out there, and how can it be linked to Yapi Chef? So you need to go and look for sources about the youths. Then in your own thinking, you need to motivate whatever fact that you came across. how this can be linked to the youths. I don't know if I'm making any sense, people. For example, if there's a fact that says that people who are between 18 and 34 love cooking, this is good news for Happy Chef. Anything that you can link it to kitchen products, it will be good. The last one, is it the last one? It should be the last one. Oh, it's not. So you go back to the first question of this section based on your set objectives and persona that you have created. So remember, at first you created the 2 objectives. Now you've created the persona. Recommend 2 digital channels or online marketing communication mix tools that you would use to achieve the set objectives. This is very easy, but it has got 12 marks. So you need to come up with 2 channels or online marketing communication that they can use. For example, if you are going to use search engine optimization, you need to motivate how you are going to use it. That's 6 marks. Then the second one, if you are going to use paid advertising, you need to motivate how you are going to use it. That's another 6 marks, making it 12. The last one is most exciting one. The head of digital marketing has indicated that Happy Chef does not have a digital marketing team and has tasked you to create or build the digital marketing team. So they do not have a department at all about the digital marketing who handles their digital marketing activities. So based on your objectives and strategies in a table, indicate only 2 digital marketing positions you would create and the skills and characteristics the people should have. So they gave you a table there. You need to create a position on the first column. You need to mention the skills that are required for that position. Remember, these are based on the objectives and the persona that you have indicated. Then you must come up with characteristics of those employees, like the suitability of the employees that you would have. Then the responsibilities. So these will be the duties that the selected positions should ascribe to. So question 4 on its own in general is very tricky because all the answers are related. Once you mess up on one answer here, chances are that you are going to have a domino effect of messing up. How's this assessment, guys? How is F2 so far?
So can I ask a question?
You haven't asked mine yet. But anyway,
A lot.
let's hear Tati. Tati, you want to ask something?
Yes, Ish. Based on these questions, I can just tell that 10 pages is not enough. So what happens if you go 1 or 2 pages above the limit? Sir, it's a lot.
Tati, you are one of the people who talk too much in the assignments.
No.
How is it a lot when you just say marketing objective 1 is to achieve X?
Not question 4, so the whole assignment.
Yes, I get what you mean. That's why I've just given you an example of question 4.
Okay, that one.
But Tati, I hear you. I'm not that lenient on the number of pages. I just want you guys to have a sort of a discipline. When you're going to do a S1, you are going to be told to present everything in 5 minutes. You will realize that you are going to be doing this at an agency. So I'm just trying to train you guys to have not too much information about a strategy, because once you have got too much information, it becomes boring. So I'm not going to be strict. You can have at least 14 pages, but I want to see 30 pages there.
So 1 or 2 pages above the limit is fine.
Yes. Madam Lesedi?
I'm good so far, sir. I think I will have questions once I start the assignment.
Okay, please, let's not have 30 pages, right?
Yes, sir.
You are one of the people who landisa ngesikhiwa is what? Who narrate a lot.
Noted, sir.
Karabo,
Yes.
is Lesedi your friend, right? When you are together, how much does she talk?
No.
That's not fair. You can't ask Karabo that question.
It's not fair for him to answer.
It's not fair.
Okay. All right. I just wanted you guys to laugh a bit. Please, no offense, Lesedi. My apologies if I offended you.
No, sir, you didn't.
All right. So, guys, that's the assignment for you. With pages, I'm going to be a bit lenient. Please, guys, I'm praying for consistency. There's one thing that I did not also mentioned that I came across. Consistency. If you are using tables or if you're using subheaders, you know, all of a sudden you can't use something else. Your work needs to be neat, not clumsy. So you need to be consistent across the document. Use the area or the Times Roman that have been given. We are going to discuss a lot about referencing. But this is your second assessment, guys. Everything that we discussed in your first assessment, I need to see the improvement. And yes, if you got 90% in F1, I need to see the improvement, guys. It means that with F2, you need to get 95. F3, you go to 100. There's no way, let's say, you can get 70%, then on this assignment, you fall, you go to 55%. Let's work on the things that we did not address on F1. Yes, Ntat?
So can we use a graph for question 1.2 instead of a table?
Can you use what?
A graph instead of a table.
You know, Ntat, you need to pronounce your words very well there.
A graph.
Okay, I thought you were like a bra. I'm like,
No.
what's going on? What's
No,
going on?
sir.
What is she saying now? In this class, I encourage creativity. Whatever that you want to use, be it a graph, be it a mind map, be it a table, any diagram, image, as long as it makes sense, as long as it is well presented, there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Now you can put your hand down. Or you've got another question.
No, sir, no more questions from me.
Okay, any questions, Lebo?
No, sir.
Okay. Anytime soon you'll be ganging up with me, with your squad, Tati, Karabo, Lesedi, calling me when I'm in church.
I think we should, before, like, how do I put this? We're gonna have questions on Tuesday.
I know, you know, the word that came to my mind when you were just opening your mic, Karabo, is that say we are now digesting it. Give us a moment to digest this, then we'll come back to you. I do understand that.
Yeah, let's suffer a bit.
Okay, I do understand that, guys. But anyway, you do not bother me at all, Lebo. You do not bother me at all with your 5 minutes voice note. Guys, the more you engage with me, at least at the end of the day, you are going to get better marks because you want to understand it better. So trust me, you can text me, you can email me, and I'm going to respond. But I know that students always want instant gratification. So if you WhatsApp me at 1 a.m., be human. Just know that I'm snoring elsewhere. I'm asleep. I'm going to answer you whenever I've got a time. So that's it, guys. Are there any questions? About everything that we've discussed today?
You said some of us would be seeing our marks. Why haven't, like, I'm unable to see my marks? Might you know why? Or
You are not able to see your marks.
I've checked even like this morning.
Maybe it's your core campus, because there's one of the students here managed to show me that he can see his marks. So I don't know, maybe your core campus are different, but I've marked your assignment, Karam.
Could you give me any hint? Just 3 words: good, bad, or very good.
You know, hints are going to make you collapse, my man. You know, I cannot tell, I cannot give you marks because marks have to be audited. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hence, I'm very well aware. So I'm just trying my
So
luck.
at the end of the day, as I told you guys, there's no one in this class so far. No one in this class who have got less than 50. That one I can guarantee you. Even after moderation, I don't think your marks can be as low. You know, marks are actually starting from 65.
I can't see it. Hey, I can't see my marks. I'm checking now.
Can you see your comment?
Should I go to the assignment section because I'm by the grade section?
Maybe after the grade section, click on assignment.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go into the assignment. And then hopefully, I'm in the assignment section.
Can you see the rubric?
Thereby view rubric evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go in.
All right, so those are your marks. I know you've seen them now, right?
Not really.
Okay, but by the end of the week, you should be able to know your final marks because they'll be evaluated this week.
Okay.
But thank
Okay.
you, guys. You did very well. You don't have to panic, eh?
All right.
As I told you guys, the highest got 90%.
Okay.
The lowest got 26%.
I feel like I know who the 90% is, but
unfortunately, it's a she.
I know. I didn't say he. I feel like I know who it is.
But not in this class, unfortunately.
Wow. Ish.
Guys, remember, I also have part-time students.
And they are beating us. Wow, okay.
Not all of them. The second highest is in this class. It's a she.
I still think it's that same person.
Karam,
But okay.
don't give women the wrong impression in this class. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your coming and your participation. We see each other virtually again on Thursday.